Greetings, everyone. I'm excited to welcome Leon Pantar, co-founder and CEO at SaleSqueze. Leon, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, great to have you here, Leon. So let's dive right in. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Oof, where to start? So basically, my education is robotics engineering. Never got the chance to work in the field. I turned into a software career very early on and spent like the last 20 years, working for other people building software. And then 7, 8 years ago, I started my first company, which was a software consulting business. And out of that story, a lot of things kind of evolved naturally. So Sales Quiz is the highlight of that era. Yeah, and now for the last 3 years, I'm the CEO and running the Sales Quiz story, which is configure price quote platform that's trying to revolutionize the way people buy and sell complex products.
Yeah, appreciate that background. So robotics engineering, never did that, but really got into software engineering, software companies, and now running your own company. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about SalesQuiz. What products and or services does SalesQuiz offer?
Well, the basic idea around sales quiz is actually if you take an example from, let's say, something that we all know about is like when you try to buy something, you usually go to Amazon, click it, put it in the cart, order it, and it's at your doorstep. But that only works for simple products. When it comes to complex products where you need to see it, feel it, maybe customize it a little bit, you're wondering if it's gonna fit your, I don't know, backyard or whatever, then things become very, very complex. And it turns out that most of the processes that are in existence today are completely manual. Products of this kind of complexity are sold manually throughout the whole world. And so we said we need to do something about it. So basically, Sales Quiz is focused very much around helping companies streamline sales processes when it comes to very, very complex product that customers usually need to, personalize to a certain level. We offer configurators and we offer a streamlined way to create quotations and receive product orders.
Okay, and then so this, going to your website, it says visual CPQ, but so this would be for physical products, correct?
Most
Or
of
or
the
could it not only physical products?
We are, based on my background, we are heavily focused on manufactured product.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So manufactured product. So something that can actually I don't know, would it be like, say, furniture that could come in different sizes or, backyard furniture, patio furniture, and maybe you want to adjust the size, and then I'm guessing that changes the price, just change the color options, and then you can help then configure the price for that customization and also visualize it.
Yeah, that's the front end part that the customer sees. But what happens in the background is actually we compose what we call a bill of materials, which is kind of an input for the production line so that they know what to produce. And this entire process is usually fully automated.
Okay, wow. Yeah, that's interesting because on your landing page, I see a picture of a bed, but really it's front end helping the end user as they come to that website, visualize, configure. But then you're saying on the back end for that manufacturer, it can tell them exactly what they need to, I don't know, to create that order or manufacture that order.
And then we do this in various different verticals. Like what you see on the website is currently our hot topic, so the home and garden stuff. But we work with equipment manufacturers, medical device manufacturers, motorhomes, camper vehicles, agricultural equipment. So there's a lot of products that are sold all around the world through deep, deep distribution networks. And whenever you encounter another level in the network, the complexity just increases. So we are trying to automate this entire octopus.
Okay. So a lot of different verticals, home and garden, medical equipment, motorhomes, ag. And then when you're reaching out to say, I don't know, motorhomes or RVs or any, type of title, what type of role are you trying to find in these companies to pitch your product?
It's usually somebody in charge of sales or somebody in charge of marketing. So we kind of have the influence on the sales part. So velocity increases, manual work decreases. And on the marketing part, we usually play a heavy role in digital transformation, especially when it comes to customer experience. So these two roles are usually our champion roles. And many times we also deal a lot with either head of product or, I don't know, head of production.
Okay. And I was going to ask that because sales and marketing seems very apparent, when you go to landing page and see and configure quote. But then it seems like it's the double sales process where you then have to get the head of manufacturing or production involved because you said it now helps the back end process as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's usually in the later stages where, sales and marketing are, happy with the product, how it's installed, how it's working, and then, the final stage is usually connecting it to the backend systems of the company. Like the backbone is usually the ERP, and when you need to integrate quotations and orders into the ERP, that's usually when the head of production comes into play.
And then do you find once you've won over the sales and marketing champion, and they're bought into your product, do they then help you also sell the product to then the head of production?
Yeah, of course, of course, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. They're on your side to close the deal.
So
So yeah. Yeah.
we call it the sales quiz effect. So what happens usually when you implement and go live with a product like this, you put some marketing into play, drive traffic to it, and usually what happens is like 4 or 5x in demand. And we've seen companies go like 40 to 50% increase in sales in the first 3 months.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's a good enough ROI to make anything happen inside the company.
That's great. What kind of sales cycle are you seeing? Does this take a couple months, 6 months, 12 months to win the deal?
We are currently very focused on the SMB segment, so everything up to 150 million in revenue. With those companies, sales cycles are from 1 to 4 months.
Okay, one
Uh,
to 4 months. Okay. Not too bad. And so what year did you found SaleSqueze?
End of 2021.
2021. Okay. And then do you have a headquarters location or are you virtual?
No, no, we are mostly so most of the team is located in Slovenia, close to the capital city, but our actual legal headquarters is in Delaware.
Okay.
Yeah,
Legal headquarters in Delaware.
yeah.
Okay.
So
And
we're
then,
a US entity.
okay, US entity, but just outside of or located in Slovenia. And tell us about what's your current team size?
60 people.
16 people. All
Yeah.
right. And anything you want to share around revenue ranges or ARR ranges?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, we've been moving pretty decent numbers in the last, let's say, in the first half of the year. So we've grown our ARR to X. We are currently at 500,000, and we are planning to reach 1 million by the end of the year, which should put us in a good position to raise the next round in the first quarter. So
Okay.
that's kind of where we currently are in terms of ARR.
All right, that's great. Well, congrats. Hit the million by year end and then look for a raise. And then, talking about, head of production, sales and marketing, tell us a little bit about your go-to-market motion, targeting these SMBs up to 115 million revenue. Do you have the traditional cold email outbound process, making calls? How are you finding your prospects?
Well, we actually use two approaches. So first is there is quite a decent demand already existing on the market. So we use some small budgets in advertising just to attract, customers that are seeking solutions. And we do that through what we call use cases. So for example, one of the use cases that is currently highly popular are pergolas and verandas. So companies that solve those are searching for solutions to make their life easier. And this is our pretty steady stream of inbound inquiries that come through advertising. And the second one is, yes, like you said, like the standard outbound approach, like we contact people through cold email, LinkedIn, and we started introducing cold calling.
Okay. Okay. Appreciate that insight. So two-pronged approach right now. And then earlier you mentioned a raise, but tell us how much capital have you raised to date?
Today it's 2 million in 2 rounds. The latest round was 1.5 million US dollars, and the first one was around half a.
Okay, so 2 million total USD or 2 million total USD and the latest was 1.5 million. So tell us about your fundraising journey. So you're founded, you said in I guess late 2021. When did you know you were going to raise at some point, or were you considering bootstrapping, or did you know that you were going to raise at some point?
Yeah, so we were bootstrapping for the first year. We knew that we want to raise money, but we kind of struggled for a long time to raise because, we are in a vertical that is like majority of our competitors are service businesses. There's only like one or two decent products out there. Everything else is service. So you can imagine that a lot of investors were hesitant when they were checking the market. So we had a hard time. I personally spoke with more than 200 funds when we were, putting the rounds together. It took us almost 2 years to put it together. And yeah, it was hard, but at the end, it paid off. And what I learned from it is, all the connections, all the conversations that I have actually proved to be very valuable because, people talk to each other in this world. And like when I talked to the first 10, all the rest started coming through those first 10. So I treated everybody with respect, transparency, and honesty, and it paid off big time.
Oh, that's great. So yeah, that's amazing journey. So 200 funds and 200 in 2 years. And then with that $1.5 million raise, what told you you're ready for that raise? Were there any signals that you saw? Tell us a little bit about what led to that raise.
So our lead investor is Bogdan, that the founder of How to Web conference and the general partner in Underline Ventures, and we actually met almost 2 years ago. So we were in constant conversation, and he was monitoring progress. He saw something in the product, but he also saw that it's not ready, so it's not a VC case. So then what happened? We started pushing a lot to basically remove the service part from the business. And what happened at the end of last year is that we acquired the first customer that was actually able to implement the entire solution self-service. And that was kind of the, the major milestone that convinced them that there is something here worth exploring.
Okay, so interesting. So before that, so the first customer who could do a self-service onboarding, and it sounds like prior to that, there was a little bit of onboarding setup, some hand holding with your customers to get them up and running on your product.
Yeah, we started out doing services and then we slowly removed services as we grew. So when you're bootstrapping, service money basically funds the business. So we then started slowly removing it and it worked really well. So we started decreasing the one-time revenue and increasing the ARR. And so we did this transition in like 2.5 years, and now we are almost like 95% ARR.
Okay, that's great. That was a really, really important point about services because some businesses, right, naturally, you have professional services, a lengthy install, say 6, 12 months to get the product up and running, and just part of that business model. Like you said, it provides nice cash flow, especially if you can optimize those margins, right? It kind of helps finance the business in the beginning, and maybe you then kind of pull back and make the product do more of the work. So when you have self-service installs, like what kind of average price point are we talking for your customers when they can just sign up on your website and install themselves?
Yeah, we still don't have this approach like full self-service where they can
Mhm,
sign up on website. We
mhm,
still do sales. So
mhm.
our initial ACV started around 12 to 15,000 euros. And yeah, we work with a land and expand motion. So basically when they grow, the ACV starts growing. But that's the usual entry point in the SMB segment.
Okay, makes sense. So yeah, still sales cycle, sign the contract, and then point them in the right direction so they can start implementing the product.
Yeah.
So yeah, appreciate that insight, Leon. And so at this stage of the business, do you have a favorite number or metric that you're using to guide the business?
ARR.
ARR?
Yeah. That's the North Star. So we plan backwards. Like we have a 10-year plan where we want to be in 10 years and we plan backwards from that. And that's kind of worked well.
Okay, and ARR, very popular founder metric, or always monitoring that. Plus, then more metrics as you scale. Now, do you want to share your 10-year number at all?
Yes, it's 125 million.
Okay. All right, 125 million ARR. So great number, great number. So yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate you sharing that. So Leon, really appreciate you coming on the show, sharing your experience. So what's coming up next for Sales Squeeze?
Yeah, so we figured out that this but the use cases really work well. So with use cases, we are planning to launch a full self-service version of the product where the onboarding process will take care of, setting everything up. Like you will have a fully functional 3D configurator connected to a streamlined sales process in like a matter of minutes. And then the next thing is that we need to scale the use cases. So we plan to build out like 200 use cases by the end of next year. And hopefully this will kickstart a movement. So then open up a marketplace where everybody can build their own use cases and just build a huge database of ready to use content.
That's
That's
great. Yeah, great. Yeah, very exciting. So Leon, again, appreciate you coming on the show today. If listeners would like to learn more about Sales Squeeze, where should we send them online?
or probably salesquiz.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn, Leon Pantar. Just type it in and connect. Or you can also check our company LinkedIn page.
All right, perfect. Well, check out Sale Squeeze and it's SQUEZE.com for more information. Look up Leon on LinkedIn. And Leon, really appreciate your time today and sharing your journey so far.
Thank you.